When I turn to my parents, I see tears running down both their faces. We join the crowd and continue our walk. No one talks. Silent as the grave. I take a shaky breath and then another. I say Nani's favorite prayer to myself. I'm so glad she's not here to see this. I try to find solace in her memory, but as I'm saying the words, my muscles tense and my breathing grows loud. I say the prayer again, but it doesn't feel meditative as it usually does. It doesn't calm me or quell my anger. Thoughts and prayers. God, all the times I've heard politicians utter those words. Aurora, Orlando, Las Vegas, Sandy Hook, Umpqua, Virginia Tech, San Bernardino, Sutherland Springs, Parkland, Santa Fe. I don't have a measure for how I should feel or what I should think, but thoughts and prayers weren't enough to save any of those people and any of those places from getting shot, and they're not going to be enough for us now. Prayers can only go so far. I remember something else my Nani used to tell me. Praying is important, but you can't simply pray for what you want. You have to act. We line up outside the hub by last name and proceed through the security check, full body scanners and luggage imaging like at the airport, but with a ticket to nowhere. After the scan, we walk inside the main building of the hub, where dozens of registration tables are set up. I soak in this bizarre nightmare, scanning the camp and what appears to be the only entrance gate, heavily guarded, and the watchtowers and the razor wire fence as far as I can see. And the people, everywhere, all of them dazed like me. It's like a United Nations of internees, old and young, black and brown, some in hijab and kufis and the traditional dress of their ancestral countries, many in t-shirts and jeans and shorts. But we're all citizens of the United States, forced on a dead-end journey into the desert. The Muslims who aren't citizens are going on a much longer trip. Deportation. Green cards and visas instantly invalidated with a stroke of the presidential pen. Maybe they're the lucky ones, if they have homes to go back to, take their chances in. For those of us who were born here, America is literally the only home we've ever known. And all those angry mobs on television chanting, "Go home!" They don't get that this is our home. Our turn comes to check in and get our room assignments. An auburn-haired woman with a tight bun and pursed red lips peruses the laptop on the desk in front of her, reading the data from our barcodes. Ali Sophia Leila Amin. She says it like a fact, but apparently wants an answer because she gives us a hard stare when we stand there in silence. Yes, I'm Ali, my wife Sophia, and this is our daughter Leila. My dad places his hand in turn on our shoulders, like he's introducing us at a social event. You've been assigned to Mercury Home number 17, Block 2, the woman says, and hands us 3 key cards. Report to the Hub Auditorium at 1700 hours for orientation. Is Mercury Home the new euphemism for trailer? I ask. The woman raises an eyebrow at me. My dad pulls me back by my elbow. Where's Block 2? My mom asks. Here's a map. There's a file titled Regulations on the home screen of your media unit in your dwelling. Familiarize yourself with it. I trace my infinity charm with my finger, thinking of my phone in the hands of a stranger, or maybe even destroyed. All my pictures with David, the tennis team selfies, lost. Everywhere around us are uniformed men with guns. It's terrifying, but I feel a rage rising in me too. Do we have phones in our trailers? Even prisoners are allowed phone calls, I say. Layla, I hear the fear in my dad's voice when he chastises me. You're allowed approved calls. There are phones in the recreation area of the hub. The woman points down a hall at the end of the large room we're in. You can request to make phone calls from the hub, subject to approval. They'll explain at orientation. Are we allowed to eat? I ask. My stomach has been grumbling since we got off the bus, and I feel my hungriness coming on. The woman blows out a puff of air. I can tell I'm trying her patience. There are lunch boxes waiting for you near the exit. What about news? How are we going to find out what's happening outside? Mobius. The woman reminds us of the name in the camp, like we can't speak English. And somehow her speaking slowly and very loudly will suddenly make us fluent. We do actually speak English, I say. Just FYI. Layla, my mom says sternly and takes my hand. The woman gives me a sour look, but ignores me, continuing where she left off without missing a beat. The director decides what news you will get at Morbius and grants you access via the media units in your dwelling. All the answers you need will be given to you at the orientation. The woman, clearly irritated, looks straight past me. Next, she says. We stand there for a moment, unsure of what to do. The confusion and anger of hundreds of people fill the hall and make the air heavy and hard to breathe. Next! The woman raises her voice on the edge of yelling. We walk out of the hub and straight into the bright daylight. I look up, shielding my eyes from the sun. A small drone hovers in the air above us. It pauses, like it's looking at me, and then flies toward the red-faced man in the suit, who wipes a handkerchief across his brow. The drone is shiny red metal, smooth, an ellipsoid, but as it approaches the man, 3 black legs unfold from its belly and allow it to land vertically, like a mechanical spider leaping from the air to the ground. It follows behind the man like a pet. Drones are everywhere, but I've never seen one like that. Like it's almost alive. The Mercury homes are arranged by blocks, 8 identical mobile homes on each side of the block, tan with white trim around the windows, and 3 aluminum steps leading up to a white door with a house number on it. A small metal nameplate on the door spells out Mercury Home. I laugh, imagining that FEMA purchased these trailers from some company trying to appeal to the retro, rich hipster crowd. They're not shiny like Airstreams or cool, but I could totally see someone trying to retrofit one of these and rent it out on Airbnb, appealing to people who don't really want to rough it but want to pretend that they are. The trailer sales must have been a bust because they've been downgraded to prison glamping. My mom waves the keycard in front of the round electronic lock pad and we enter. I glance around. Bile rises in my throat. I guess Mercury homes are better than the shanties we saw when we passed Manzanar. It's a mobile home, but it's still a prison. The front door opens into the common area, a combo kitchen, dining room, living room. The unit is spare, narrow. Square footage-wise, it feels smaller than our kitchen and dining area at home. So I'm guessing cabin fever is going to come on fast and strong. My mom places our camp-issued lunches on the compact table, sniffs the air, and rubs her nose. The entire space smells like the inside of a bleach bottle. I wonder what they were trying to scrub away. My dad clears his throat and goes to open one of the rectangular windows above the built-in sofa, which is covered in tannish brown vinyl. He jimmies it up a few inches, but then immediately shuts it when he gets dust in his eye. My mom walks over and tells him to sit down so she can get a better look. The vinyl squeaks as he takes a seat. I grab a sandwich from our lunch boxes. Peanut butter and jelly on white bread. Of course. I scarf it down in a few bites. Then I take a few strides through the narrow kitchen to 2 side-by-side doors and throw them open. Found the bedrooms, I shout at my parents. But there's really no reason to raise my voice. Even though they are at opposite end of the trailer, they're still basically within spitting distance. My mom nods at me. Looks like my dad's eyes are clear of dust, but they're still glassy and wet. My mom's are too. It hurts to see them this way. They look old and tired, like they've walked here from home. Our real home. Our only home. I remember reading about people who, well, aren't in our situation, not exactly, but who are displaced, uprooted, and how some of them try to make the best of it, keeping home as a feeling in their hearts, not an actual physical place. But I don't want to do that. I can't. It would feel like a betrayal to my old life, to myself. I have one home, and it's not going to be this place. The government might be able to steal our lives from us, but they can't steal our thoughts. I close my eyes for a second and take a halting breath. I peer into the rooms. The bedroom on the left has a double bed, and the one on the right has bunks. I think this one is yours, I point to the room on the left. Unless you two want the bunks? My parents look up at me with forced smiles. They barely said a word since sitting down. I imagine they want to say something. I don't know, paternal. But they must feel like I do. Their bodies are full of holes. I enter the room on the right. The low metal bunks are pushed up against the wall. The mattresses and pillows have plastic on them. On the opposite wall is a square window that looks onto the mountains in the distance. Below the window are a blue plastic chair and a small desk that drops down from the wall like an airplane tray table. Next to the desk, a tiny round metal sink. In the corner is a closet full of shelves with a clear plastic curtain serving as a door. I swivel around and take a deep breath. This room is about the size of my old bathroom. I have no idea what to do next. I know I need to busy myself, but because if I continue standing here, I'll slowly fade away until I cease to exist. I wonder if that's how they did it, the Japanese Americans who were sent to camps in World War II. Maybe they survived by going through the motions, day by day, waking, counting the hours, eating dust, sleeping. That's my immediate plan for now. Get through it. Survive the madness. Keep my eyes open. I unzip my bag. I neatly refold all my clothes and place them on the shelves. I save some shelf space for toiletries, since the sink barely has room for a small cup and my toothbrush. I also find a spot for my paperbacks, Great American Poetry and Macbeth. Neither is exactly in my top 5 desert island books, but I guess I wasn't discerning when shoving stuff into my duffel. Next, I tear open the bedding package and make up the bottom bunk, saving the other set of sheets. I'm not sure how we do laundry, which might kill me because I love the feel of fresh sheets. But the touch of this internment chic bedding doesn't exactly scream high thread count. An oval mylar mirror hangs above the sink, and when I wash my hands, I notice my grimy face. It's the dust. I rinse my eyes with cold water and scrub my face until the white washcloth is grayish-brown. I wash it with hand soap, then hang it to dry on the towel rack screwed into the wall. I walk back into the main room. Where's the toilet and shower? My mom leaves the couch and takes maybe 10 short steps into the kitchen and opens 2 small doors that I thought were cabinets. One is a shower, the other a toilet. I see they spared no expense to incarcerate us, I say. My mom hugs me tight. I am so sorry, sweetheart. We had no idea it would come to this. I let my mother hold me. When she steps back, her eyes shine with tears. I want to be able to say something to calm her, make her feel a little less horrible, but a tiny black fisheye camera attached to the ceiling distracts me. They're watching us in here, too? Are we allowed to use the bathroom privately, or are they surveilling our bodily functions as well? I burn at the violation. I have to get out. The walls of this trailer feel like they're closing in on me. I can't breathe. I'm going to go look around. Maybe I'll find the laundry room. I'm not sure you should be roaming the grounds. I don't know if it's safe. Mom, please. There are tons of people outside. Besides, there are so many armed exclusion guards around, it's not like I can get mugged. The men with guns are the ones I'm worried about, my mom replies. She turns to look at my dad, who gives me a small smile. That looks like it takes some effort. Fine, but be back in an hour. We don't want to be late to the orientation. I grab a key card and tuck it in my back pocket. Don't worry. Probably the most ridiculous 2 words I could ever say to my parents. I step outside, blinking against the blazing sun. I walk past row after row of identical Mercury homes. Little kids play outside, kicking up dust while their parents mill around, faces drawn and blank, fear in their eyes, not sure what to do or how to be. I can see some of them trying to make the little ones feel comfortable by sporting uneasy smiles whenever a child looks at them. I think about my dad's smile before I left. It's impossible for me to understand what it must feel like to be a parent, to know one of your sacred duties is to protect your child, and then to feel that you're failing and completely helpless to change that. Layla? I hear my name from behind me. I turn, raising my hand above my eyes. Aisha? The girl I met at the train station. She runs her hand through her bobbed hair and smiles at me. Couldn't stand it inside anymore either? It's like a tomb, she says. She pauses a beat, glancing at a guard as he passes by us. We're in the same block, 3 trailer homes down from you. I gesture down the row of Mercury homes, and she joins me in a slow walk. There are armed guards posted every 2 blocks. Their fingers aren't on the triggers of their guns, but it feels that way.